I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, the Black Authority. Very glad to be with you all here this evening. I look like I got Marcel on here. I'm trying to make sure I got everything taken care of here first. Let me go ahead and see here. I've enabled this here, so Marcel, you can go ahead and unmute yourself and everything. Looks good there. I know folks are going to be asking here. All right, Marcel, go ahead and say something so we can make sure you can be heard.
All right, testing, 1, 2, 3.
All right, there you go there. Give me just a few moments and I'll go ahead and bring your video up for you here. So like I said, I was kind of just doing this ad hoc here. I was hoping we can go ahead and get that taken care of. There you go. All right, Brother Marcel, well, you have wanted to speak with me. Welcome to the Black Media. I understand that you would like to run against Jim Bojangles Clyburn. Now, let me tell you, that's not a very hard sell to make around these parts. He's not a very popular personality. However, his lack of popularity does not immediately equate to popularity for you. So just like anybody else, you will have to make your case for why it is that you are not the lesser of two evils, but that you are a step in the right direction. I will allow you 5 minutes to make your case.
Well, long story short, Jim Clyburn has been our congressman here in South Carolina District 6 for the past 30 years. And I was not politically involved for most of my life. This is a new venture for me. And I discovered that my district here in South Carolina is the 6th poorest out of 435 districts total in the United States of America. My district is a majority black district. So I went through Congressman Clyburn's legislative record, and I have not found one piece of legislation that specified the needs of black Americans, descendants of American slaves, to whom I will refer to as freedmen. And yet, under his watch and the watch of the Democratic Party, and I'm running as a Democrat, for whom we've been voting for at a rate of 90 and 95%, black Americans have experienced drastic land theft. We've seen our wealth actually decrease. From our grandparents and great-grandparents actually owned land, we've actually have had most of it stolen and the generational wealth with it. Our educational attainment has soared, and yet that's only really increased our debt via student loans, and still a white high school dropout has more wealth than a black college graduate. And I look at the history of America, and I see how the Japanese Americans were interned for some years, and that caused some of them, of course, to suffer physical harm, psychological harm. Some died, and the businesses and their property was lost during that time. They received reparations for that. The different Native American groups, they received settlements, which is really reparations for the harm that they experienced from the American government. Looking at the history of black Americans, we have gone through more harm than any other group, by far none. I'm not doing oppression Olympics, but if I were to do that, we would be the winners. And yet not 1 cent has been paid towards us. You look at now what's being done for Ukrainians in a European nation over 5,000 miles away that's not even a member of NATO. I don't really care much about NATO, but NATO does have the attitude if you attack one member, you attack all. Ukraine declined to join NATO when they had the chance. Yet we've already sent trillions of dollars to them. People keep saying billions. It's trillions in the form of military equipment and in the form of direct monetary aid. We're going to bring over 100,000 Ukrainians, starting, because we know it's going to be more, give them housing, land, or property, education, jobs, food, transportation, and other resources. Yet black Americans are 15 to 20% of the population, and yet over 55% of the homeless. We are the highest group when it comes to being landless, disproportionately killed by the police. Black men have the shortest lives, and after black men, black women. And the list goes on and on. In a hospital, when you have a triage setting, a person who has a slight headache has to wait. You you have to attend to the needs of the person who's having a stroke because they require the most attention. Likewise, Black Americans are in the most precarious situation. We require legislation specifically for us. I am going to actually put that legislation forward. Clyburn has never done that. No one in the Congressional Black Caucus modern day has done that. I'm going to do it. People often say, well, why do that when you don't have the numbers for it? I say you're going to lose every fight that you never step into the ring to fight. I say you're guaranteed to lose if you never even tried to win. I also say that a leader is just not what they accomplish. A leader is also for what they fight to accomplish. So if I put forth reparations legislation, which I'm going to do, I'm going to fight to also get the number and support that it needs.
I could ask a bunch of questions here, and I'm assure you I'm going to, but I guess I would just start with just one. Why is it, and I'll be diplomatic about this, can you be trusted if other issues show up? Because, and let me explain to you what I mean by this. Obviously, you understand that one of our biggest concerns has been the old bait and switch. And that when other issues show up, we usually find ourselves in a situation where it's like, okay, well, if black folk want something there, we bring in something else that supplants that. So next thing you know, here comes LGBT. And then it's like, okay, we need to see about black folks and. We have to watch out for the devious black folks and disabilities, black folks and LGBT, black and brown. So in your case here, can you explain to people why, based on what we've seen before, because we've heard some good talk before, matter of fact, the word reparations gets bandied by the Congressional Black Caucus even now. Why should Marcel Dixon be trusted that it's not going to be a bait and switch here, that he's going to say this now, and then once he gets behind closed doors with them, it's going to be, okay, everybody, I've decided we need to compromise a little bit here, and we can have black and.
I say that the biggest indicator, even though people change, of what a person is going to do is what they've already done. And I will also say that I've already been behind those closed doors, okay? I've already met with Democratic strategists because my platform is gaining momentum, and I am starting to get noticed by people throughout the country who are in positions of power, and they've already tried to get me to drop the R word. They wouldn't even say the word reparations. They've already tried to get me, okay, they say you have your platform, people can already see you're the black candidate, your slogan says, repair Black America to fix America, that's good enough. Now you can still present yourself as a race-neutral candidate, but you don't have to change your platform. That was their compromise. I told them, hell no. I have put on my Twitter page emails I've gotten from organizations who have dropped me because I am not for illegal immigration. I'm for drastically lowering legal immigration. I'm for deporting people in this country illegally. I am against us. I prefer us to have family support instead of aborting our beautiful black children. I am not for gun confiscation from law-abiding citizens. Because of those first two, abortion and illegal immigration, I've had Democratic groups drop me. The point I'm making, if I wanted to compromise, I would do it now. Or if I was going to, I would have done it now. If I was going to run on an LGBTQ platform or whatever other platform, I would do it now. That would increase my chances of getting to Congress. And I am not making my platform any easier by saying I am not just doing black first, I'm doing black American first, and not just black American first, reparations. Anytime you stand up in this country for black Americans, because they'll be friendly to black immigrants, but for black Americans, you are going to get a big pushback. I knew that, and the people have not disappointed. So if I was going to sell out, I would might as well do it now and make my path to Congress easier. But the fact is, I have not sold out because I know, like they say, a person who is faithful in what is little will be a person who's faithful in what is most. If I was to sell out to get to where I was going, I would sell out once I got to where I wanted to go. I'm not going to sell out to get to where I want to go, and I'm not going to sell out once I get there. It will make no sense for me to go through the hard work of sticking to my guns now just to get to Congress and then sell out. when the reason I'm trying to get to Congress is to run for black people. And that's why I stuck to that platform.
Now, the reason why I ask these things is because going forward, what I'm predicting is going to happen, and this is my prediction based on what we saw with the Reparations Committee in California. My prediction based on what I'm seeing is that what you're going to see is I'm predicting they're going to have a fallback position, and what they're going to do is they're going to come in and say, okay, we're going to allow reparations for black folks. They're going to try to water it down as much as they can. So there is going to be a fight every step of the way. And then right after they say that, they are then on the back end going to say, and we also need to make reparations for all these other groups that on the front end you got excluded in the reparations discussion. They will try to include them in separate legislation later. How does Representative Marcel Dixon plan to address that eventuality if that occurs?
Well, I already know that's going to occur. It's already occurring. We already see that the segregationist in chief we have, Joe Biden, he already said that after saying he will have our back, that he would consider reparations if it includes Native Americans. That really infuriates the hell out of me because Native Americans have gotten it, and some still receive direct monetary payments every single month. Tax exemption status, billions, trillions of dollars from casino revenue, land. And not once has anyone ever said, well, we're going to right the wrongs we've done to Native Americans only if we right the wrongs we've done to black Americans. But somehow when it comes to us, it always has to be contingent upon another group. So I already know that's going to happen. I already have a plan on which to deal with it. One, I'm going to write the legislation. So the legislation is going to be authored by me. Now, if other people try to shoehorn other groups in there, like this black and brown, this rainbow coalition, that when they get policies, it's specifically for them. But somehow when it comes to us, we have to include everyone else. It's never the other way around. What I'm going to do is something that we don't do now. And I have to get us to do it in the way that should be done. I am going to call these people out. And that is called pressure. That is called accountability. So in the event that, let's say, usually a member of the Congressional Slack Caucus comes along and they want to add on other marginalized groups. I've had a lot of black people mention other marginalized groups. And I'm focusing on the main group that was government sanctioned marginalized. I am going to highlight those people, what they're trying to do, and that's what I'm going to need all my reparationist family come and back me up and making sure that reparations is going to be something that's worthy of reparations. When I get to Congress, I hope to have other people with me, like Tamara Shealy Johnson of Georgia, who's running on a reparations platform, and William Somerville in California, who's running on a reparations platform. I think there are some others out there, but I don't know them like that, and they could just be using reparations as a buzzword. But if I am running my part, running my campaign, I'm going to be there alone, just thinking that y'all are going to have my back, because they know I am not going to have much support. Even if Tamara and William do get there with me, that's when I'm going to need y'all to come to my back. Call them, identify them, call them out, and then blow up their phones, call their offices, write them letters, and we put the pressure on them to make sure that when reparations is done, it's done to the people to whom the debt was originally owed. And that is the people who are the descendants of those that were enslaved by the American government.
Thank you all for watching. The full link will be in the description below to watch the full broadcast.